I've decided to marry a man I just met. I know how that sounds. But here I am, standing in a hospital chapel bathroom, adjusting a veil I bought from the gift shop 20 minutes ago. It cost $11. I've been on only 3 dates with this guy, and now I'm about to walk down an aisle for him. 3 hours ago, this guy named Patrick and I were at this little Thai place downtown for our 3rd date. He was doing funny impressions of his coworker, and I was laughing so hard my stomach hurt. I remember thinking, this one might actually be a keeper. Then his phone rang. His whole face changed like someone turned off the lights behind his eyes. His mom had been hit by a car. I offered to drive him because his hands were shaking too hard to hold his keys. The whole ride he kept whispering, she was just getting groceries for Thanksgiving. When we got to the hospital, the doctor used words like internal bleeding, and you should make her comfortable, and call the rest of the family. Patrick grabbed my hand and wouldn't let go, so I followed him into her hospital room. His mom looked so small in that hospital bed, surrounded by tubes and beeping machines. But then she opened her eyes and saw Patrick, and her whole face lit up. "There's my boy," she said. Her voice was the warmest thing I'd ever heard, like honey and sitting by a fireplace during the winter. She looked at me and smiled. "And who's this beautiful girl?" Patrick introduced me, and she squeezed my hand with whatever strength she had left. We talked for a while about small things. She asked how we met. She laughed at Patrick's terrible jokes. She told me embarrassing stories about him eating dirt as a toddler. And the whole time I kept thinking about my own mom. She died when I was 14, brain aneurysm. No warning, no goodbye. I never got to see her at my graduation. She'll never meet my husband. She'll never hold my future kids. I've spent 11 years living with that hole in my chest. Just now, watching Patrick's mom fade in front of us, it forced something from the past to crack open inside me. Then his mom looked at both of us with tears in her eyes and said, "You two are such a good couple. It's such a shame I won't be there to see you get married someday." We both held our breath. Patrick was crying. I was crying harder. And before my brain could stop my mouth, I said, "They have a chapel here." Patrick stared at me like I'd grown a second head. "What?" I grabbed his arm and pulled him into the hallway. "We could do it now. Right now. She could see you get married." He looked at me for a long moment, something desperate and hopeful flickering in his eyes. "Are you serious?" I smile at him. Dead serious. He ran his hands through his hair. "Give me 30 minutes. Then he was gone, phone already pressed to his ear. I stood in that hallway wondering what I'd just started. 45 minutes later, Patrick came back with 2 people. He introduced us all quickly. His sister was still wearing her Applebee's uniform because she'd driven straight from her shift, and his cousin was clutching his phone with some kind of certificate pulled up on the screen. The cousin explained, "I got ordained online 6 years ago as a joke. I've literally never used it, but technically, legally, I can marry people." Patrick walked up to me holding a small velvet box. He got down on one knee right there in the hallway, directly next to a bright yellow wet floor sign. "I know this is insane," he said. "I know we barely know each other, but will you marry me right now so my mom can see it?" I was already crying. Yes. We got a wheelchair for his mom and made our way into the chapel. Patrick's sister had grabbed flowers from the hospital garden outside, while the cousin stood at the front, visibly sweating, whispering to himself about not messing this up. The mom was watching from her wheelchair, oxygen tube still attached, but smiling wider than anyone in the room. The cousin cleared his throat and started the ceremony, glancing at his phone every few seconds to make sure he had the words right. Halfway through the vows, the heart monitor started beeping faster and faster. We all froze. A nurse rushed in, checked the readings, then looked at all of us standing there in this bizarre wedding formation. "She's fine," the nurse said, heart rates elevated from excitement. "You can continue." Patrick's mom let out a weak laugh. "Don't you dare stop this wedding." The cousin finished the vows in record time. When he said, "You may now kiss the bride," Patrick kissed me like we'd been together for years instead of weeks. His mom clapped with what little strength she had left and said, "I knew you'd find a good one, baby." Linda passed 3 days later, peacefully. 1 year later, Patrick proposed again, with a real ring this time.